This is from Becky, saying, as a teenager, growing up gay, and my own reasons, if at the age of 12,
Just waiting for a few more customers to enjoy the music. Relaxing. Enjoy the
That, she says, is an interesting parenting. Steve Brooks says, I told my daughter anything you post online is potentially available to everyone in the world forever. Be cautious. And Bill Lambridge says, the best advice to give a child is you can't unsee something you've seen online. It's kept my boys internet savvy. And this listener has emailed anonymously to say, I have 2 teenage children. I've been using family safety controls thinking that it was all I needed to do to keep unwanted content from our PC, but I recently found out that my 14-year-old daughter was self-harming, and it's come to light that she has an account where she's posted thousands of pictures of people self-harming
and some more writers, apparently.
Suicide. It's full of blogs promoting all of this.
That's why you're seeing this. I know that's Tony.
4 says, my family was subjected to about 4 calls a day from scammers saying there's a problem with my computer, and could I follow the key steps to resolve the problems. He says, ask for their number, call back once.
And being bored is part of the curse of the dyslexia. But is it? Anyway,
what is dyslexia?
Pardon?
What is dyslexia? What does it mean?
Right, dis. Like disman is not a different sort of dis. It's a Greek start for dis, sort of wrong. Something wrong, discomfort, so I don't know, dystopia, so it's the opposite of a good thing, as far as I can see. Distaff is the left, but I don't know why the left's considered bad, apart from the right, of course. They don't like us. So yes, dyslexia is not being able to, welcome back. He's back, he's back. Anyway, this is dyslexic great zucchini. So dyslexia. What is dyslexia? It's a bit of a tough question because, as far as I can tell, everybody's dyslexia is different. And the deal is hence this rainbow thing. It says they talk about the dreaded spectrum. So we're talking about people very, very bad who can't, read exit even, to people who can read okay, but have other issues. Welcome, sit down, please.
Sorry.
No need to apologise. Anyway, the thing that I would like to say, it's difficult, is that some people try and make out, or some people suggest, that dyslexia is in fact a sort of a gift. And I wanted to start this by saying, once upon a time, one hears that once upon a time, and you get into a nice sort of relaxed rhythm. So I'm going to be telling you a story, and it's my story. Anyway, the gift of dyslexia. Well, the fairy stories that I was brought up on, there was always this sort of nasty witch person who arrived at the birth giving this gift. Now, I got given the gift of dyslexia, and I reckon it was a pretty bum gift. But anyway, we can debate about this later. But so I'm going to start the Great Zucchini show about getting of the gift. Right. When you start, before going to school, you don't know you're dyslexic, but you know there's something a bit funny with you. Because your brothers and sisters and other people you know go to school, they tell you all about it. And part of you thinks, oh, bugger in hell, I'm not going to like that. And you're right on the whole, or I was. So I felt that I got given this little mistrusting bit here. And I was quite right. I knew that I was dyslexic from a very early age because there was a machine about as big as that, that's there, and he bought milk from it. And he had milk in the middle, well, milk, there was nothing in the middle, that's the problem. It's like playing roulette. There was one of them gave chocolate milk, and two of the buttons gave ordinary milk. So you had 1 sixpence and a 1 in 3 chance of getting milk or getting your chocolate. So what happened, will I be dealing with this machine, my sixpence, will I get my chocolate milk? No, not again. I just couldn't understand all these figures, all this sort of blurry stuff. Why didn't I not get my chocolate milk? Anyway, it's nothing to do with writing as far as I can see. It's about thinking. And the thinking, I was told very shortly when I went to school, was about this. It's a brain. And there's something quite different about the dyslexic's brain to normal brains. Okay, we can have a bit of a discussion about what normal is, but anyway, here is the old brain. They told me in no uncertain terms, from a very early age, there was something wrong with this organ. And it wasn't only me who thought, who suffered from this, there was other people as well. And these other people floated at the bottom of the class just with me. There was a sort of dissonance about this because part of me knew I was pretty clever, and the other part of me knew how could you be floating at the bottom of the class and be clever at the same time. So something was wrong. So the people about was true. Now the thing about the spectrum mark is that you can be very clever and dyslexic, and you can be very stupid and dyslexic. It's like one thing doesn't preclude the other. It's like you can have a cold and terminal cancer. But lots of people don't really understand this. They want to think, what type of dyslexic's him? Oh, they're just a middle-class person trying to get extra time for their exams, for their kids. And part of me sort of thinks they should try and see what it's like to be dyslexic. So I was designing this to give you a little taster. Hence,
it's well, just not on in his opinion, Rebecca DeVos. I think your opinion, Rebecca DeVos. I think
because I was going to talk to you with these going on at the same time and the images, and trying to give you a taste of what it's like to be over-bombarded with images and sound, and at the same time being told that you're lazy, you're not trying, you must try harder, you've got to stop dreaming, and whatever you say is wrong. But it's not. It's wrong generally because it's like this. Somebody asks a question, 3 minutes later it goes in there, oh yeah, somebody's already answered that question right next to me. So, come across as something's not right. Now I'm not going to be cruel to you, so I'm going to turn off these radios, but it's not a very pleasant world. That's what you do. This is where the gift bit comes in, is to survive the utter boredom.
are. I know you're working with.
But being told you're wrong all the time, and you've got it wrong, is that you daydream. And I daydreamed, and I've mastered the art of daydreaming, and I think most artists do. That is your survival technique. And the thing about this gift is that it's okay for us artists and people like me. I'm a very lucky man. I don't know, I should ask, how many dyslexics are in the... Right. So I'm talking to the converted. Where are the people who aren't dyslexic? Right. So, I mean, did you know most of this stuff?
Yeah.
You did, yeah. So you've got friends and family of dyslexic. So in fact, the whole thing about this dyslexia lark is that you need a support system, or there is a support system going. People have always known about this. The people in classes that have been thrown out, or he was always a sort of tough nut, or whatever. I mean, if you go to prisons or approved schools, you're going to get a lot of people who would rather be bad than sad and not know how to spell because. I still have difficulty with because.
Is it curable? If you have to
As far as I know, I don't think it's curable. You can work out strategies and deal with it that way. But yeah, back to shooting yourself in the foot. I did a lot of pictures, cut them out, took photographs, couldn't find them. So I think in images, and I don't follow proper sort of sequential. So when you ask me, is it curable, I've remembered something else. I thought, oh, bloody hell, this has gone completely off track. I didn't intend to do that at all. So I'm now going to go back on track. But for me, I don't think it's curable. I think it's sort of something you learn to live with and think, yeah, this is not a bad thing. Anyway, back on track. The deal is the how was it meant to happen? It was meant to go like this. And these reveals. So these are the hidden disability. I see it as a disability, I don't see it as a gift. And I'm happy to have people argue with me. But anyway, the hidden disability. Over time, I realized that I couldn't read. Did any of you know Roger the Dodger? Well, Roger the Dodger had his books of dodges. He had thousands of them. 101 dodges, thousands of 1001 dodges, all these sort of dodges. And I was dead jealous of it. I wanted to be like Roger the Dodger and have a book filled. Through my entire career at school, I think I never filled one exercise book. An entire class, I could write about 3 sentences, and I spent 5 years doing that. And it was deeply, deeply depressing. And that's another part about the dyslexia thing. It's the psychological damage to being told you're wrong all the time has on you. So anyway, back to the script. The Horned Moses. Anybody know him? Oh, it's Michelangelo's sculpture. The Horned Moses is a mistranslation. Freud loved Michelangelo's Moses. I got onto Moses because of the books. Him and his 5 buddy books Yeah, it caused a lot of problems. So I went to a Jewish school, so not only could I not learn English, I couldn't learn Hebrew either. And I got a lot of daydreaming done. Anyway, the mistranslation was of shining. Moses was a bald geezer, like my dad. And I noticed my dad's head was shine in the sun. And I thought, yep, that's where the horned Moses comes from. So there you are. Ta-da! Okay. No, huh?
I didn't understand it.
You didn't?
No.
You didn't understand? It was a mistranslation. Horned, it was a Hebrew word.
Oh,
And
right.
so the translations read, it's oh shiny. They misread shining for horns. Yeah, okay. So the horns. So you feel that you have the old, something's a bit different from you, or with you. And you're not wrong. Anyway, this cap is invisible, but it used not to be. They used to be able to sort of put this on kids to shame them, like they needed more shame. Anyway, so I looked this up for you. The old dunce's cap. Oh, I've gone off track. It should have been the disability thing. Okay. Anyone cop the cultural reference? Dave the Jackal? No? Okay, well that's one missed. One of the ways of getting through a long school day, apart from looking out a window, would be imagining it filling up with water from the bottom and going up the wall, 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 until you can swim around the top of the room and dive up and down in the thing. And you can get through a lot of time that way. It works in church services as well. It's pretty useful. The other one is turning the whole room upside down and climbing around on the thing, yeah, very Fred Astaire-ish. And the other thing that I used to do, which is a great trick, I thought so anyway, was imagine yourself very little and crawling in and out of the inkwell. We used to have inkwells. I realised that I lived in the olden days. I didn't know at the time, but yeah, it's the olden days. And so a lot of the pictures you see here are from things that I'd look at and got a taste for the sort of grotesque. Right, so the horn gets bigger. Oh yes, I was going to get you this. Right, the penumbra. A penumbra is the inverted cone, you know, that sort of shaft of light that shoots out. So the origin of this dunce's cap was in fact from a guy called Duns Scotus, who was a sort of medieval scholar. And not only was he was a good scholar too, he could rate it in, but he had one of his theories was that if you wore a sort of pointed hat, the knowledge would go down it into your head, and you'd gain knowledge that way. So in fact, the dunce's cap became a sort of thing of shame when it started off being a sort of learning aid, really. So I thought that might interest you.